You know, it comes down under the butterfly around the corner and back to the garage door rooms. Those are all controlled. There's 3 switches that control all of that. So that switch.
Yep. Thanks,
so
Eric.
This switch, if you hit these, it'll turn all the lights off.
Okay.
And then also over in the garage door room, there is another switch. So when you turn those off and turn them back on, some of these LEDs will take a little while to, like this one usually comes on, and this one will be on, and then that one turns on, and this one and that one's, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's another switch over here for all of that.
But those ones are, I just noticed as we were walking, those are all occupancy, so
Those
on.
Yes, those are occupancy sensors as well. But if you ever needed to, hey, we need to shut the lights off, you can hit those 1 of 3 switches. They're all the same.
Perfect.
There's the 3rd switch there.
Okay.
It starts from this door and wraps all the way around to the back door, including the butterfly rooms. That shuts all them lights off.
So basically, this is like the commons areas lights.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
This little corridor here has its own light switch. 1, 2, there's a 3rd light on the outside of that door that is controlled from that light fixture.
For just these cans, you're saying?
Those 2 cans, the 3 cans here and the 1 can outside the door.
Okay.
Then there's in here a couple night lights.
Yep.
They're on 24 hours.
Okay.
Yep. That's AV stuff. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
That's for, there's one of those in the cry room as well, but it's not for lighting, it's for something else. I don't know if it's going to be volume controls for the speakers or what.
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I pushed the button and he started moving something in there at the same time.
So you're like, oh,
it's like, oh,
that's how you move your furniture.
that's how you move furniture.
Push them all.
Yeah. Just get this
Same
down.
thing.
Okay.
See it all the way to there.
Okay.
Okay.
And then this one in here.
But these won't turn on. They don't turn on when you enter.
They
You
do.
have- Oh, they do. Okay.
Well, okay, yes, they will. This
Right,
is just
yeah.
like an override. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you need to shut them off. These are occupancy sensors here, or I guess, because each one of these fixtures has its own. If you notice when you walk through, they come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And I don't know how you guys want those set up. I don't know if you want them to be like that. So like these, we just left them how they came from the factory. And if you notice, those in there do it also, but when we was working, they just kept blinking on and off, so we shut them or put them all to 20 minutes.
I think these at like 20 minutes would be nice.
So
where
those
they
will-
shut off after dormancy, but
Yes.
it's not as you walk.
I didn't know if you guys were wanting it to, you know, Michael Jackson through here.
Yeah.
No, I think setting it somewhere
Okay.
like those, because I haven't noticed, you obviously notice when you're walking through here, they're blinking on.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
seem to shut off lock. So
Because they have,
if those other ones are 20 minutes, I think that seems like a good time.
right. So these, all the round ones are like that. All of the can lights are on the occupancy sensor and or vacancy sensor, whichever you want it to be. Or we just do it, yeah. And see, these will go through their little when you turn that off, turn it back on. They'll go through their little test pads.
Okay.
See how that one didn't come on?
Yep.
It'll come back on here in a little while.
Okay.
It's probably doing its testing as well.
So you'll set all of these. Is
If
there
that's-
an easy way for us to change it if
There's
for some reason we
there's
want it
dip
to be?
switches inside there. You unscrew that.
Yep.
There's like 2 things of switches in there, and there's the instructions on there. You just go, number 1 needs to be off, number 2 on, you know, whatever it says.
Okay.
So,
It'll say like for 20 minutes, turn
Yes.
this one to this and this one
yeah,
to that.
exactly. And it'll have, I think they have like 5 seconds, because that's how they used to. You would walk through.
Yeah.
They would come on, and if you got here, they would turn back off.
Yeah.
You know, and it was hard to work in there when they was just all.
Yeah.
So this one is an occupancy sensor. So when you come in here, this one will come on. You know, and then if you just leave the room, it will shut off eventually.
So some of them I've noticed like, so okay, so sometimes I have seen like in the offices, which I guess isn't you.
Upstairs?
Yeah, you didn't do those.
No, that was
Okay.
all already there.
So these
Those
are just
are
like
all-
a whatever, 20 minutes later they'll shut off.
Yeah.
Got it.
And these are all programmed from the factory. Whatever you guys chose for the lighting company to put this in, they pre-programmed all of this stuff.
Oh, got it.
So whatever they programmed it for is what it is. It can all be changed, but like I said, it was all programmed up there.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so I mean that's all pretty straightforward there.
Sure.
Coffee maker? Did that count?
Yeah, Petco.
Nice.
Like I said, this is all commons. I guess this is, you know, the commons area for all of that is controlled by those two switches. For this wall, yeah. Yeah. Here. Yes, there's one over right here. Still occupancy sensors. One there, one up here, one in front. Yeah. An override switch for this one is right here. This one controls just this little common area, little ambulance.
Yep. Okay.
And that gets all out. The bathrooms are still operational.
Okay.
These motion sensors. There's two. That motion sensor is controlling these lights in here. This has its own. That motion sensor is controlling the side lights as you go up. You know, it's ridiculous in here how much stuff is in the ceiling in this little space, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's a smoke alarm or a smoke detector. Occupancy sensor for upstairs, occupancy sensor for this room. Same thing. These rooms like this, they have like 60-minute timers in them.
Yeah.
You know, in the electrical room and all that stuff.
Okay.
We can look in this electrical room and show you the outside lighting controls.
Okay. I don't have to be polite to you.
Just tell me to piss off.
Exactly.
Right there.
Yeah.
So here, this is if you need to turn the outside lights on. You touch it and it comes on. See how it has a light bulb with it? Thing through. I mean, now all the lights are on outside. Parking lot, sconce lights, and vestibule lights are all on there. And the building signs are on too.
Okay.
So, and if you hit it again, it'll shut off. There's only 3 circuits in there: building sign, parking lot lights, and then building lights.
Got it.
So, and this is the main brains for all of your lighting controls everywhere. Okay. Everything goes into a hub, almost like a router, if you will, in the bathroom. In the children's bathroom over here, there's a router up above in that ceiling that everything plugs into. And then
Like in the family, is that?
Yes, up in that big hole up there.
Yep.
There's a big junction box that does all the low voltage, and then it feeds back into here and goes to this. If you ever have a problem with this, you can call these guys, and it has its own service in here, and they can get in and go through that antenna, and they can look at everything and see if everything. Because at first, this wasn't working. What was happening? They wasn't coming on at the right time, the outside lights. So then they called, or they went through that, and they said, "Oh, okay," and they saw that it was programmed wrong, and they fixed it all.
Okay.
So that is an option too, if that ever needs to be done.
And does this like account for daylight savings and?
It does everything, yeah.
Yeah. So we should never have to touch it.
Never.
Okay.
You know, yeah. In the daytime, it's going to be shut off. So if you ever have to work on any of the lights or any of that stuff, they should be off. You know, but everything's labeled in here. Here's all your classroom. Here's mostly all of your lighting stuff.
Okay.
You like from all of your lights here, and then this one is. I can't remember which one this one was. It's all in here too. Oh, number 1. Number 1 is like this whole system there.
Got it.
And that'll take care of that.
And how many of these boxes are there? Other places where we have? Because we have like electrical rooms.
Do you want to go through all the electrics and see how everything works like that as
If
well?
you have time, let's
Yeah.
make sure Brandon can. But okay. And then as far as lighting, does it stay on until like dusk to dawn?
Well, it comes on 30 minutes before, and then stays on 30 minutes after dusk and dawn.
Okay.
And it sets itself for that. So
It does it all. You'll see, right? If you call these dudes, you can get a hold of them, tell them your address and your, mountain use
So,
so they get in there.
yeah, if we ever need to say like it's not coming on or anything like that or something,
Yeah.
there's nothing that I do on this panel. I can
Right.
tell
There's
them.
nothing user friendly in here.
Okay.
I mean, if you
perfect.
take that off there, there's no, here,
I
I
didn't
can
know if
change
that
it.
panel did anything.
Yeah,
like that.
and this, again, I didn't do any of this 72 online. It was all pre-programmed, so I never even looked at that. I installed it, turned it on, said okay, and then never messed with it.
Got it.
So, lighting control stuff there. I think everything is just occupancy sensor, vacancy sensor, or regardless, you don't have to mess with anything. It'll all turn itself off whenever.
So, I mean, that's true for basically the whole building.
Yes.
You can leave with lights on and they'll all shut off.
Sanctuary may be different with those lights.
Yeah.
Because those are all constant powered and those are controlled from the board.
Okay.
So I don't know what they have going on in there for that.
Okay.
But the rest of the building, minus the sanctuary, everything will shut off on its own.
Okay.
If we can go through electrics, if you want to see that.
Might be nice for him to just kind of
that'd
give
be-
him the once
Let's go outside and start there then.
That would be great.
And we're okay on time, right, Cal?
Yeah, we're doing it.
So this is the main gear. This will be installed. This setting, see where I put the label on, it says junction box junction. That's the old stuff.
Okay.
So there is still a switch inside of here.
That's a switch.
Yeah, because we didn't want to go through and tear all that out and have
Okay.
to re-pull wiring because it'd been too much money and it's already there. So, but you have to be mindful that anything ever happens on this side of the building, like it's not working. There's another switch.
Okay.
That's the first. This is your point of origin. It all comes from the transformer out there into here. There's nothing on this gear that can shut the whole building down at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because the way that it was designed. See, if you open this cabinet, there's nothing in there. This is your CT cabinet. This is basically meter section. There's some inductance rings in there that, you know, when the current goes through there, induces a current into that, goes over here and tells your meter what's going on.
Okay.
So if you ever have to, like, oh, I gotta shut the whole building down quick, well, you can't do it just like shutting off one breaker.
Okay.
This breaker, MDP section 1, that's in this building.
Okay.
That's the Niner building, this precast building, which is that one. This, MDP section 2, that's in there, over by the kitchen.
Got it.
So there's distribution panels. I'll go through all
Yep,
those too.
yep.
So this one shuts the one off at the kitchen. That one shuts off sanctuary side.
Okay.
So if you hit this one right now, you would shut the sanctuary down.
Got
You
it.
know what I mean? So, like I said, there's no one switch that'll shut the whole thing down. But the Niner side, if it ever loses power because of something that's tripped, check there, but also check there just to make sure nothing happens to that. That one down there is just a junction box, and I think it would be smart if you guys put your own padlock on here. Because if you open this right now, which I don't want to because it's kind of beat up, you know. I mean, there's open stuff in there. If you open this up, you can touch that and die. So we don't want to do that. So I mean, I can put a lock on there, but I think you guys should put a decent lock on there. I can open it if you can't see it. It's just hard to get it shut.
No. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll trust you.
Yeah. But I don't want something to happen because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's go back inside. So that switch and the first switch, so you got to turn it on. So when you shut those switches outside, that's turning off. If you keep shut off this section of gear. This section of gear runs the elevator. It runs panel P1, which is this. P1 and P1, there's two sections. Panel P3, upstairs, in the electric room upstairs, that's this one. Spare, spare, spare. Panel P1B is that one right there.
Got it.
Spare, spare. Panel P4 is the panel upstairs as well. This is running all of your rooftop units and stuff on top of the tall building.
Okay.
This panel P3 is running all of your circuits upstairs, just your branch circuits. P1B, this is running all your electric wall heaters. Well, not all of them, a lot of them. The ones in the vestibules right here for the kids, those are all in there, and two of them back there in at the north side of the building at the exit doors.
Okay.
By the garage door room back there.
Yes.
Back in there. And the rest of these are all your, well, I can show you this too. This is, this panel basically runs the classrooms that are on the other side of the dividing wall.
Yeah.
So it runs this whole vestibule area here. So like here, those 4 classrooms that are on the other side of this dividing wall, if you ever have a problem like a plug or somebody trips something, it's going to be in that panel.
Okay.
So basically, panel P1B runs the outside. It'll run your outside plugs right there, and everything in this right here.
Yeah, so the classrooms that are coming back.
The classrooms are right in there against those plugs.
Okay.
That electric wall here.
Those restrooms in there then too?
No, restrooms are on the panel over there. Just this little column right here.
Well, there's restrooms in the classrooms area. Oh, but those restrooms are
Those
here.
restrooms are on, on the other side of that wall. So they're on panel P1.
Because they're right behind this wall.
Yeah.
Oh, they're behind that wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how they did it. That little coffee bar there, those plugs are ran from that panel. The water fountain is run from that panel, which I'll show you that too if that thing ever shuts off. There's on the side of that panel P1B,
Yep.
there's a faceless GFI on the outside of that thing. Because this panel is a mechanical panel also, which is running the VAVs, the heaters and the ductwork and stuff.
Okay.
So you can't get a GFI breaker that is low enough for, people.
Yeah.
Like it won't trip it low enough. It'll trip at 50 milliamps. People is at 5 milliamps. So we intercepted it and put a faceless GFI. So if that thing trips,
Yep.
water fountain's off.
That's that water fountain over there. Okay.
Which is weird why they put this water fountain or that water fountain on this panel. It should have been in there. But I didn't want to change it from the panel. I didn't want to deviate from what they were saying. So we put that in there.
Okay.
And so the panel P1B does pretty much that little column of stuff right there.
Got it.
This is all your circuits and your lights for the old downstairs side of this building, the precast building.
And mostly, like, there's labels on the plugs, and it says like P1 dash.
P1 dash 56.
Yep.
That's what it's talking about.
Perfect.
The ones upstairs, he went through and labeled all those, and those would be panel P3, circuit 72 or whatever. P1, P1B.
Okay.
So that's how you differentiate that when you see on your plug cover where it labeled to say P1 or P1B. P129. Yep. That's how you find that. And then your first one stops at 42, your first section. Your second section is 43 on.
Perfect.
So if you see circuit 50 something, you're going to need a section 2.
Yeah, kind of got it.
Nothing there. That's all straightforward. That's all straightforward. We can look at this mechanical one too. You got any questions? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of height, a lot of wires in here. I can still kind of remember. Yeah, I can still kind of remember the circuit numbers here and there.
Just when it's off.
Yeah.
Marked up.
So this one, same thing. Has a 60-minute switch in here. But there's also this, if this thing ever starts to go awry, like it's gonna blow up or anything, you have that emergency shut off right there, so you can just reach in and hit that. And it shuts it down. So now that killed the power. But there's also, because this is secondary, they told us to put this in later, so so there's also this switch here. So this one you want it to be on, pull that one back on, this thing will be, see?
Power back up.
Yeah. So then, so just make sure that switch is on and you control of it there and there. Electric, this is your recirc pump there for your hot water. It's plugged into that one. But GFI, everything's labeled in here. This is panel AB, which is what we'll look at next. These panels over here.
Okay.
We had some. I was in this panel yesterday with Eric because I know he was talking about we have a fridge that was driven.
That one right there. And this,
that middle one there.
so that's going to be a problem regardless, because that's always a problem when you put anything with a compressor on a GFI. And when you get that ice machine, it'll probably trip them too. So we are, and we already started seeing it. I noticed because every day I've been coming in and checking, and I started noticing it yesterday.
Are we able to bump up the
and that's
breaker so it doesn't?
That's gonna have to be something that's discussed for sure.
Okay.
So this is panel AA. This is your kitchen panel. This is running mostly everything in your kitchen. But there's a couple other things like your exhaust fan that's in your kitchen, but up on the roof, it's coming from here. I think one of your rooftop units is in here, not your mini split is out of here too. The mini split for,
Where's the mini split?
what is that?
Is there one in here?
This is the mini split for the media room is ran on this panel.
Okay.
So the main gear outside, when you open up the third door in or the second switch, it runs this distribution panel, which has all of this. This is all your rooftop units on this side of the building, on the flat roof right above us, and over. Everything's labeled RTU1. What is that? The emergency something ventilation deal is up there too. And all the units are spray painted up there to match these. Or I am to match those, one or two. So, no big deal there. But when you if you shut off that gear, the third door or second section, it shuts this down, which shuts down these two panels. So this is mostly, you got all your regular little outlets. And you got some outlets in here, that it's picking up in the box and stuff. And all of your lighting is right here, like sections 16 through 24 is all the lighting for the hallways and all this stuff. GFI breaker in here. This is the water fountain right here. That's that water fountain. These two GFI breakers here, that's your heat trace up on the roof. Coming down the back gutters. So those are on right now. The heat trace is just coming down your downspouts, and that's it. Then what else is in here? Your kitchen lights are in here. Your restroom lights, which is on the other side of us, are in here. And then all of your regular lights. Kitchen outlets from this panel, other outlets in this section from this panel.
And we have 3 sets of water fountains, right?
Yes.
So this one here is in the box. The one out there in the commons is in that GFCI you showed us in the mech room. For the children's,
in the panel P1, there's a GFI breaker in there.
It's in the breaker box. Okay, cool.
Yep, just like those. In these rooms, the common plugs in here are just all the regular ones. But then you'll see plugs like this. See these isolated ground plugs right here with the orange triangles? So that means those are isolated ground. Those are coming from the tech panels, which is in over here. So we can walk over there and see that. So anything with isolated ground, or if you see an orange triangle on your plug, see these have orange triangles.
And it's just the bottom half of those, or is it that
The whole plug
The whole outlet,
is,
okay.
yes. And that's just isolated ground, so it just has a little bit cleaner ground. So if you have some audio or something, yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. I didn't know we had that set up in there.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So this is all the technical panels. So this is running, again, technical panel 1, technical panel 2, lighting panel 1, lighting panel 2. The technical panels are running the ones with the orange triangles on them, or your stuff up in the ceiling, you know, your lighting rigs and stuff up there, which I didn't show you that too. This is all the stuff in the box. This is just for the box.
Just box.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah. So, like this, where AVR01, where you see that kind of stuff, that's this here.
Okay.
Those plugs are running this stuff.
Okay.
Anything that has the AVR01 for, I think there's AVR02 up to 6, I think there is. Yeah, so this, anything where you see children's common desk or the box south wall, that's all going to have an orange triangle on your plug-in.
Okay.
So if any of those don't work,
Oh,
trying
so this is running. So the stuff in the children's comment.
only
The system and stuff up there is that.
only if there's an orange triangle on that plug. It comes back to the technical panel 1, which would be your TVs in children's over there.
Yep.
You got your TV on the wall. Your security desk. There's 2 games down there. Where else? The TV outside the children's area, right before you go in the butterfly roof area.
Yep.
The TV on this back wall, which garage door rooms.
Yeah.
Keep going all the way back. There's a TV there. The
Okay.
TV in that children's garage door, that's on it. The kitchen TV is on that.
That's all.
In
here.
technical
Yeah.
panel 1 or 2, yes.
Okay.
And then, like out here, there's some lighting here and stuff. I know it's a quick run.
No, I mean it's great.
So,
Getting all this stuff is gonna help
yeah.
when that TV goes out. Hopefully
Yeah.
it jogs my memory that I'm back here in this panel.
Yeah.
See that right there? See all the lighting pipes up there?
Oh, sure.
Those are also ran from the technical panels.
Okay.
That just, whatever you guys decide to do lights or whatever in here, that's where they will plug into.
Okay.
I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. There's
A couple more
one
in the back.
there.
Okay.
There's one on this back side of these beams. We drilled through the beams and hung all these pipes.
That's gotta be a pain.
Yeah, but they're solid, I'll tell you that. You guys want to pull up contest on there, you definitely could.
Okay.
So there's your other lighting one up there.
Got one more over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Cool.
Yeah, so there's also there's 3 technical plugs up here. There are 2 games, 1, 2, 3. There's one on that wall. There's one on that wall. One right there. On the
Oh,
floor.
right here. Didn't see that one. What's the box below it?
It's I gotta put a cover on it, but that's for AV, and they said that wasn't in their pull list. So that's for what they. Wow, I can't even remember what that's for. I know the projector hangs over
I was
there.
gonna say
Projector hangs
projector.
here. Projector screens are over there. This is for something. I just don't remember what it is.
Yeah, that's Matthew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the print, so you can look at it. See what it says. I don't think there's any technical plugs in there except for the TVs.
Yep.
So let's go over to the sanctuary and look at that. Yeah, technical plug there. Technical plug there. And all these like blank covers, that's something that was called out on the AV plans that we screwed all, we put all the pipe
So
work
it's
in.
ready for that future.
Yeah, the infrastructure's there.
Okay.
Makes sense.
In that light switch right between these doors, there's like 4 buttons. Is that just like
Okay.
brightest, middle,
No.
less?
So this is all the AV stuff.
Preset.
Oh.
Yeah, so
The ones in the sanctuary are set up that way on the back wall.
exact same way. So
Yeah.
like I think one of these you turn it, they come on blue.
Okay.
They're having an addressing issue right now is what I think's going on here. So they're gonna go through and program all these, but you can program these to different scenes.
Cool. Okay.
So I think there's one that's just all,
So this is just off, I think.
yeah.
Is the bottom.
And this is, you'll have to talk to, you program that through the
Yep.
board or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Oh yeah.
The way Matthew has the one set up inside the sanctuary is just that. you work your way down, and it just gets a little bit dimmer with each one.
Oh,
the bottom
gotcha.
goes off. So
Okay, so
that's how we told them to do that.
Let's go back.
It's not lit up, it means it's going to shut off at the board, so you can't control it at all.
And so does that mean the boxes, that's how you control, or is it also occupancy, vacancy?
You're exactly right. So there is no, anywhere of those DMX fixtures like that, which is the color changing ones, there's no occupancy on there. That has to be shut off. If you don't, it'll be on when you come in the morning.
Okay.
This is the inverter. This is the inverter for the sanctuary.
Okay.
And the inverter is emergency lights, is all it is.
Oh,
So
okay.
this was supposed to be over there. When we get over there, you'll see why it's not, because there's no room to put that thing in there. So this inverter runs 19, I think it is, 19 lights in there. And I can show you which ones they are as well. So the inverter, which controls the sanctuary lights, is also controlled from that panel in there. It comes, so you can see the pipe going up around the corner. It's coming under the floor all the way back over to there. So it's controlled out of panel BA, circuit number 6. Is what it is. And it'll tell you on here, like, your input right now is 13 amps. So that tells you if it's only drawing 13 amps, that sanctuary's on the pin. Like probably your bottom button or whatever is what they got turned on.
Where is this mini split?
This mini split is over here. So we'll go over here. So none of those things can be powered up from there because that's all technical power, so it has to come out of your general panels. Your general panels in this building are panel BA, P1, P1B, and AA and AB over there by the kitchen. Those are just your general panels. So this is panel BA. This is your general panel. This is for the sanctuary. Same deal. There's your mini split. DC1, DC2, DC3. DC1 and 2 are over there. DC3 is down in your AV room down there.
Got it.
In the sanctuary. These are also, general panel. These are all technical panels as well. Just like over in the box, these are running all your lighting up on the ceiling. These are running all your power up on the ceiling. There is, well, I guess there's a couple. I think for technical plugs down low, like just where you can plug stuff in, I think there's there's two gangs, and I think there's 2 upstairs that you could get into if you had to.
Okay.
You had to plug a camera into it or something. But yeah, so this is the same as over there. This is the distribution panel. This one is not running your rooftops. This one is running, if I hit TP1, it's going to shut off TP1 over in the box.
Okay.
The box. TP3, I would shut that panel off. TP4 would shut this panel off.
Okay.
See, they coincide.
Yep.
TP3, TP3.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
LP1, LP2, BA panel right here.
So it's these.
Yep.
Where's
LP3, LP4 right here.
Where's LP1 or 2?
LP1 and 2.
Remind me where those.
LP1 and 2's
That's
over in the box.
over.
There's 4 panels over there,
Okay.
4 panels in here.
In here. Got it.
4 technical panels, lighting panels.
Yep. Oh, LP. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track of how much stuff's in here.
Sure.
So there's all of that. Nothing major. Some of this goes over to the inverter. So you, like right here, these, circuit 6 is your inverter. Circuit 24, 26, 28, and 30, 32, these are all of your sanctuary lights in there. So if you turn all these off, and we go out there and look, these ones that are left on, those are your emergency lights. Yeah, these would be powered by the inverter, which I go turn off circuit 6 and those would stay on. This one is also powered by the inverter.
These back here.
Yeah, this is on a whole different circuit. This one is an emergency light as well,
Okay.
just in case these doors are shut or you're in here, you
Yeah.
know. So, and those are also color changing. You can change all the colors of all of those as well.
These ones are on the base, are those ones just on something different, or are those part of the emergency?
These are all emergency lights as well. Those, I think there's 6 of them down here that are emergency lights.
Yep.
So those 6 here, the 4 in the stairway, those are also emergency lights.
The wall.
No, the big lights hanging from the ceiling. The wall isn't emergency circuit. It's just step lighting for your service and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, all of that. All right, so that's all the sanctuary stuff there. It's all same stuff. Everything's labeled, even if you open up the floor boxes. I think everything here. TP4, circuit 12. So whenever you're up here,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have powered monitors, if you can do all in-ears or what.
Probably be all in years, but that's.
So that has, let me turn all these lights back on.
Huh?
Yeah. This circuit right here, circuit 8 and 10, which says 70 amp, that's the heater and pump for the baptismal.
Okay.
And nobody's told me to turn it on and leave it on, so it's still just off.
Okay.
So,
So if we go to use it, that's why it's
Yeah.
not working.
Can we just leave those on, or is that something that like we need to have the water filled and then turn it on?
I don't know the answer to that, because I would talk to Russ, the plumber,
Okay.
because if there's no water in it,
And the
at
pump
some
inside.
point, you're gonna have to be able to leave it on. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like the water's probably in the water's probably in where it's heating right now, but I'm not gonna turn it on until
Okay.
Russ tells me to turn it on.
Okay.
Now we've had it on and seen it work, but then we turned it off, and I haven't turned it off or turned it on since.
Mhm.
So BA is your general plugs in your sanctuary. There's a set of general plugs in your sound booth. There's general plugs also on the wall in the media room back there, and then throughout the sanctuary there's some.
There's a few.
Mhm.
Some upstairs.
Yeah. And then
I need to know what any of that is
This?
there. Yeah.
this is all stuff for, like, if the fire alarm, this is tied into the fire alarm and all that, so if the fire alarm goes off, it's gonna shut down all of the audio gear.
Yeah.
You know, so that's all the guts here.
Perfect.
This one and these, they're all, and you can see they're all looped together.
Yeah.
So I don't know why this covers off. They must have been working on it.
Okay.
Because this is all low voltage in here.
Yeah.
High voltage on this side. So there's also, while we're on this side, we can go look at this stuff. But there's also an inverter in the box that runs 4 emergency lights in there.
Okay.
So I can show you that one as well. That's around circuit number 9 out of the AV panel. So these are occupancy sensors back here. These are, you have to push the button because you don't want if your partitions
Yeah.
open, you don't want your back of house coming on when somebody walks by. So this has 2 buttons as well. One here, and one on the other side of the partition, there's one also.
Got it. So you can do it before you walk in.
Yes, because you got your manual and you see that partition.
Got it.
So there's that. This is
These are switches right here.
this is the switch for that other light. So these are for the 2 pennant lights right there.
Yep. Yeah, the switch is the right
The
side
stage,
of
the
this.
stage light. Just your work lights.
Oh, okay.
So you don't
Oh,
have
I
to
thought
have.
that was part of the emergency light.
Nope. So you don't have to have any of these on.
Yeah.
Which back in the day when you was using real fixtures and par lights and all that stuff, then they was so hot.
Yeah.
You can turn on this stuff to
Your work lights, so you
illuminate
can-
just
yeah.
the work. And there's 3 in here, or 4 in here, and 3 in the front.
Okay.
So for your service, you probably don't want those on.
Yep. Yeah.
You know. But you'll have to come back here to turn them off. There's no dimmer or nothing on them. Those are just 100% or not.
Okay. I think those would mostly be off, other than when Matthew's resetting
Yeah.
the stage.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to go and turn on everything. Just,
Yeah. And that's your baptismal little pennant lights there.
okay.
Then there's here's where your pump is
Okay.
for all your stuff. That's what this light switch does.
Turns on under
There's
there.
2 lights down on the floor. I would take it out of there, they don't have the things in there. So there's a plug-in down there, a GFI. There's a junction box on the wall that controls also the pump and the heater and all that stuff. And that's what that 70 amp breaker's running right there. 2 lights, a plug, and then that thing is what's down there. There's a light for when you have to work back there. It's also on, power timer switch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, great. But there's just so much stuff back there now you can't really see anything. I imagine if you do this, this is your hoist, your lighting, high hoist out there.
Yeah.
Run everything up and down.
Okay.
Yeah. And you got all your stuff back there. You never need to pull any more wires to anything. There's all your access to it. Miles and miles of pipe.
Yeah.
Is power for this, say these weren't working or something, is that?
That's all low voltage stuff. That's ran from, that stuff is being generated from up in the controls from the hoists up high.
Okay.
And those are in technical panel circuit, technical panel 4 circuit 23 and 25 is here, and there's just
The fact you even got close is amazing.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
You got me
One of
technical
them,
panel 4, I can figure it out from there.
but those, if any of those things trip, you're gonna want to look for trip breakers in the panel, and if they trip, they'll have a little orange flag. You
Yeah.
can see, oh, this is trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn it off, turn it back on. That resets the breaker.
Got it.
So, yeah, right now these lights are real dim in here, so you must have them set, on the switch like that. And that's why these lights are still have extension cords, is because they don't have there's a power strip, if you will, that needs to bolt to the back of the hoist, and they don't have them up there yet. So, and we're doing that tomorrow.
Okay.
Then the extension cord will go away. There's a general plug there. There's a general plug right there behind that thing. Oh, somebody took the cover off there. There was a cover on it. General plug right there. Then there's a general plug in the back. A couple technical plugs back there. All your subwoofer powers under here. That'll also be in the technical panels. Yeah. If those things don't ever work, that's what they're gonna do.
Is there power up in the balcony?
Yeah, on the back wall, there's a plug here, a plug there, a plug there, a plug here. I think there's, and on your wing walls, as you come up the stairs, there's a plug in on that as well.
Nothing on the front, on
Nope.
that. Okay.
Nope. No. Then there's, there's power in where your TV, if you ever put another one up there or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's all that. Yeah, there's nothing else in here that is, nothing in here is easily accessible by any means,
Right.
if anything ever goes awry. But they've been burning in for, a month or so they should be good.
Yeah.
Then we just hung the other, myself and I, we just hung the other
Yeah.
lights
okay.
on top of the stairs this morning.
Cool.
So if you want, we can go look where the inverter is in the box, so you know that one's running and stuff.
Yeah, it does.
If you guys got any questions, man,
Do you know about?
Does that light look like a different?
yeah, that one's stuck in red, that one's stuck in yellow,
Okay.
and I think there's another one that has a little red tint to
I
it.
knew one was stuck in yellow. That one was just so, kind of close to the white that I wasn't sure if it was a.
Yeah, that's what, I think they're gonna come in and do some addressing. I think there's a couple addressing problems that are happening right now.
Got it. How's it going?
How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Here, the lights are 33 and 35. So there's the lights.
Okay.
There's your emergency lights there. This is what would be on an emergency.
So just.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the throttle lights kicking on.
Yeah,
Dog
so,
lights.
and then if you hit circuit number, circuit 9. Yeah, there you go. See that? So now in this thing, there you go.
Yep.
Those 3 lights. There's a light in there, a light in the center by the door, and this light at the end, plus that one over there. That's
Okay.
all emergency lights.
Okay.
So if the
And
power
that's
goes
run
out,
off of the inverter that is
Right here.
Right here. Okay.
yes, that's that little inverter there.
Got it.
So if the lights are, or if the power does go out, that's what will come on here for emergency. Your sanctuary has 19 of them or something, if I remember right.
Yep.
And then everywhere else just has frog eyes here, there, and
Okay.
everywhere. Any other questions?
Only about $1 billion.
I know, man.
Like,
I know.
I'm sure, but I'll call you.
Yeah,
if it
for
comes
sure.
up.
No, for sure. And then, I mean, like I said, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panel rooms. I think there's 14 panels in the whole building, so it gets a little overwhelming
Yeah.
if you have a break of the trip. Like, oh, crap. So,
Which one is it?
yeah. But I
But
think
those labels are. I mean, that's that's huge.
for the most part, everything plug-wise is labeled.
Okay.
Lighting-wise, if the lights are out like this, all these switches here, there's no labels on the low voltage switches because, I mean, they're low voltage. Because if those, you'll have to come in here and see, like, there's 16 is your step lights in the sanctuary, you know,
Okay.
out there. Restrooms and kitchen lights is circuit 14, and then it just works its way down. This little bank of breakers here is pretty much all the lights from here to that demising wall, if you will, the big concrete wall that's up there. To the other side, on the other side of the butterfly roof. Those block of breakers control all the lights through the whole thing.
Okay. Okay.
And it's weird because some of it, like circuit 42, this runs your media room, your cry room, and the back of house lights. You know, so just how it was on the print. So that's how we did it.
Yeah.
And then lounge lights, and then heat trace, and all that stuff. No big deal.
Is there anything we need to know from you on the baptismal? Or is that all, you said, the plumber?
The only thing that I know on there is that breaker is turned off. Once you turn that breaker on, everything should be good to go.
Okay.
But don't turn it on until we talk to Russ tomorrow, because he'll tell you, yeah. He may say, hey, this has to be off if you're not using the baptismal, because I don't know how you're going to do that when you have to, the night before, you fill up the tub and then let it circulate and heat.
Yeah.
It isn't like, hey, Sunday morning, you better
Exactly.
fill that thing up.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't think it'll heat that fast.
No, right.
So, yeah, I think that's how you'll have to do it. And I don't know if you'll have to keep that breaker off if you're not using it, or if you can keep it on. I don't know, you have to ask Russ that.
Okay.